Hi, I'm Mackenzie, and this is my story. It's 2015 and it's Christmas Eve. I come from a very large Portuguese family, and there's about 20 or 30 of us in this small house. We had food all surrounding us, food in the dining room on a huge table, food in the living room, and food in the kitchen, and my aunt was still trying to shovel food down our throats after we'd already eaten what felt like a 10-course meal. Crazy, I know. Me and my uncles and my dad had had enough. We did not want any more food, even though my godmother was trying to make us eat. Because, we're too skinny. Everyone's too skinny in a Portuguese woman's eyes. So we're sitting on the couch, finally relaxing, and my uncle's flipping through different channels. He didn't see really anything he liked until I saw Girls Garage. And I said, wait, stop. I really want to watch this. So we're watching it, and I'm finding it so interesting. If you've never seen the show, it's 2 or 3 girl mechanics, and they're doing different jobs on a car, suspension, fixing the engine, oil changes, like anything and everything they were doing. I found it really inspiring. Like, I'd never really seen a female mechanic. Like, this was amazing to see on TV. As I'm being inspired by it, my uncles find it as a laughing matter. They're laughing because how can a woman fix a car? Why don't they have dirt underneath their fingernails if they're working on a car? This is so fake. This is staged. These women don't belong in a garage. Let me tell you something. My dad is actually an immigrant from Portugal. And a lot of mindsets from Portugal is that women belong cooking and cleaning and doing stuff around the house. So that's kind of the mindset my uncles were raised on. My dad actually came here when he was 12 years old. And he usually or used to have that mindset until he had 2 girls and realized that he wanted us to be able to do whatever we wanted. Only a month later, I'd be picking my shop at my vocational school. When I originally went into my vocational school, I wanted a traditional shop. I wanted health careers or maybe even culinary. I wasn't really sure. Something that really fit the mold that my family was looking for. Until I went into one shop. This shop felt just like home. The smell, even as weird as that sounds, the sight, the realization that one day, within the next few years, I'd be able to take an engine out of a car and put it back. How many people know how to do that? Especially someone in high school. I thought it was amazing. So that afternoon, I got off the bus and I pick up my phone and I call my dad. And I'm like, Dad, you won't even believe like how excited I am. And he tells me the one word I didn't think he'd tell me. And it was no. And I was so upset. I was upset as much as a small kid who really wants McDonald's and their mom says, no, there's food at home. You know that disappointed feeling? That's how I felt. Because I want nothing more than my dad to be happy that this is really what I want to do. And I said, what do you mean no? And he said, I want more for you. I don't want you to pick this because it's your only option. I don't want you to be a grease monkey for the rest of your life. I want you to do more with your life. Why don't you pick a computer shop? Computer shop can get you so much farther. I can't see you doing this, and I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to end up like me doing back-breaking work for the next however many years, 40, 50 years. I don't want to see you go through the same things I went through. I don't want you to settle, Mackenzie. I want you to soar. I want you to go to college. That being in my mind, I realized even though I was upset, I had to understand where my dad was coming from. When he came here at the age of 12, he had no other option but to work. It was work all day, all night to help support his family, his siblings, his parents, and they had very little money. When they lived in Portugal, they lived in a shack with dirt floors, hay beds, 1 bedroom, no running water, buckets of water was how they cooked and washed themselves. So I understood where he was coming from, but it just hurt to know that I didn't have him to support me for that. Well, later on, my mom comes home and I'm telling her that I really like this shop. And my dad comes home too, and I'm telling him like what you said really upset me. I really want you to support me. This is something I really want to do, and I don't want to do it for the rest of my life. I just really want to learn how to do this, to be independent, to have these skills. Like this is really important. And he sat down, and my mom sat down, and my dad goes, okay, if this is what you really want to do and this is what's going to make you happy, I want you to do it. And it made me so happy to have his support. Christmas Eve night, after my uncles had made me feel so little, even though they probably didn't even realize that this is really what I wanted to do. My mom and I are in the kitchen and it's 11 o'clock at night. My mom is the only woman I have ever met who drinks coffee at 11 o'clock at night, but she was making coffee, pulling creamer out of the fridge, and she looked at me and she could tell something was off. And I said, Mom, what TT, Manny, and T Jack were saying really hurt. And my mom understood immediately. Just like my dad, my mom also is an immigrant to America, and she had a lot of the same values instilled in her that she was supposed to cook and clean and take care of the family. Also, like my dad, my mom took care of her family. She worked all the time, and she needed to also go to vocational school to get a job to help support herself and her family. She went to electrical, also a non-traditional shop for women, especially during her time. And she got a lot of the same comments from her family and her friends and people in her shop who just didn't understand why she'd want to do that. That's a man's job, they tell her. You don't belong here. My mom, also, how I am, is very opinionated. And the time a boy told her she didn't belong there because she was a girl and she couldn't handle it, whether it was right or wrong, she pulled his pants to the side and dumped a can of oil down his pants. And she said, I think I can do what I want. My mom told me, even though they don't mean harm by what they say, this is just how they were raised. She told me that I have every right to be what I want. And my mom made me realize that I come from a strong family of people who pave ways. I come from a long line of strong, independent women, and I realized that I could do this if I wanted to. So, within a month after this conversation happened, I made the plunge and I decided I'm picking automotive. And I was standing, or rather sitting, across from you on a camera to tell you that I'm proud to have been a mechanic. I'm proud to have not, I'm proud to have not let social constructs of my culture tell me that I can't do something I'm really passionate about. And I hope each and every one of you follows your passions. Thank you.